Coronation Street looks like it might be planting the seeds for a reunion between Steve and Tracy McDonald this week, following the recent announcement that Claire Sweeney has quit the ITV soap after 3 years. Steve and Tracy were married until he learned that she was having an affair with his former football hero and current handyman Tommy Orpington. They moved away to Spain, but she was unhappy being so far away from her, so moved back to Weatherfield, where she lives under Ken Barlow's roof with her ex. This week's scenes have seen Steve's current other half, Cassie Plummer, get all dressed up with the secret plan to propose. But the moment fell through after Steve received a phone call telling him that his dad Jim has passed away. In Tuesday's episode, Tracy revealed Cassie's plan to Steve, who had been confused by Cassie's behavior. She then comforted him with a very quick hug. It was only a short moment, but it was a rare moment of kindness from Tracy to her ex. Could it just be Tracy accepting Steve's relationship with Cassie, who she's never seen eye to eye? Or is it a bit of sympathy while he is grieving, or a sign that she's still got feelings for him? The third theory could easily tie into Cassie's exit scenes, which have been confirmed to take place in the summer, as Sweeney has landed the role of Miss Hannigan in the UK and Ireland tour of the musical Annie. I've done brilliant things in my life and in my career, and I'm grateful and thankful. But when I got into Corrie at the age of 52, it was a lovely, lovely surprise and a real turning point for me, the actor said previously. When I was younger, I wouldn't think, this is fabulous. It would be, what's next? But with Corrie, I'm so appreciating it and I'm staying in the moment. For decades, Coronation Street has thrived on emotional highs, messy relationships, and the messy, beautiful chaos of love that just won't quit. Among the soap's most enduring and debatably most tumultuous pairings are Steve McDonald and Tracy Barlow, two titans of Weatherfield romance whose love story reads like a saga written in equal parts love, betrayal, laughter, tears, and stubborn loyalty. And now, with fresh twists unfolding on screen and a dramatic exit looming, fans are asking, is the show planting the seeds for a long-awaited reunion? Let's step onto the cobbles and explore that possibility. A love story written in Weatherfield history. To understand why fans, and perhaps the show itself, might be steering towards Steve and Tracy reconnecting, you need to appreciate the deep roots their relationship has in Corrie's story. These two have a shared past stretching back over decades, from youthful entanglements and marriages to heartbreak and reconciliation. The appeal isn't just nostalgia. It's the way their dynamic reflects real life, flawed, repetitive, irrepressible. They didn't simply part ways. Their ups and downs are woven into the fabric of the street. And that legacy still influences how viewers and even the characters themselves think about each other. Even when they seem destined for different paths, the gravitational pull between Steve and Tracy remained powerful. Recent scenes, a spark in the darkness? In recent episodes, the storyline has taken an intriguing turn. Steve's current relationship with Cassie Plummer, played by Claire Sweeney, was building toward a proposal until life intervened. A phone call revealing the death of Steve's dad caused him to put those plans on hold, and in the emotional aftermath, Tracy was there with comforting words and, notably, a hug. Sometimes a hug is just a hug, but on the cobbles, gestures like this have a habit of meaning much more. Fans have picked up on that moment, debating whether it was simply empathy for someone grieving, or something deeper. With Cassie's exit from the show confirmed later this year, the timing of this interaction feels loaded with possibility. Cassie's departure, narrative opportunity, or the end of a chapter. Claire Sweeney's announcement that she is leaving Coronation Street, reportedly to join the UK/Ireland tour of Annie, has focused attention on the future of Steve's storyline. With Cassie departing, the writers suddenly have space to rethink where Steve's romantic life goes next. Here's where creative speculation gets fun. A revival of old flames, with the transitional relationship ending, might the show return to what works and what audiences love by reigniting Steve and Tracy's connection? A bittersweet what could have been. Writers might nudge the pair toward reconciliation, only to underscore that some stories are beautiful because they happen just short of forever. A closure-rich exit. If Steve himself is heading for a dramatic departure from Weatherfield, a reconciliation with Tracy, even if brief or bittersweet, would offer narrative symmetry. These are speculative directions, yes, but they're grounded in the emotional logic of soap storytelling. After all, Coronation Street knows how to use history to propel the present. Steve and Tracy, more than just nostalgia. One reason fans cling to the idea of a reunion is that Steve and Tracy's relationship isn't just about romance. It's a character study. They've lived through infidelity, separation, co-parenting struggles, and shared trauma. They know each other in ways newer partners do not. When Steve nearly proposed to Cassie, and then Tracy stepped into that emotional space, a question naturally arises. Could that emotional bond ever really disappear? Corrie viewers on forums pointed out that moment felt different, not merely friendly, but significant. Some even chimed in that the writers might be laying groundwork for that classic soap trope, the longtime ex returns, and suddenly everything's complicated again, in the best way possible. Behind the scenes, narrative logic and real-world constraints. Soap operas aren't written in a vacuum. Characters joining and leaving the show often sets off narrative fireworks. Cassie's announced departure isn't just plot movement, it opens narrative space. Steve's choices in the coming episodes will likely tie into larger emotional arcs, including grief over his father's death, his future as a single parent, and his unresolved history with Tracy. What's fascinating here is the balance between nostalgia and the need for fresh storytelling. A Steve-Tracy reunion isn't guaranteed, and writers might choose to subvert expectations, offering something new instead. But even subversion often plays with our expectations before it shocks us, and building toward a reunion and then twisting it could be a compelling journey. What fans want, and what soap writers love to play with. Soap fans are among the savviest, happiest to deconstruct subtext and build theories. In this case, a snapshot from Reddit summarized the vibe perfectly. Did anyone else think there's a possibility Steve and Tracy could reunite? Maybe Steve could be the first man on Coronation Street to marry the same woman 3 times. That idea might sound fanciful, but it captures something essential about the couple's legacy. Their dynamic has always been circular, part yearning, part exasperation, and completely unique. If there's one thing Corrie loves, it's giving its characters stories that feel earned by their history, not just by shock value. What could a reunion mean for the show and the characters? If the show is setting up a reunion between Steve and Tracy, it could serve several narrative purposes. Emotional payoff for longtime viewers. After years of ups and downs, seeing these two find their way back to one another, even briefly, would be deeply satisfying. A dramatic exit arc. If either Steve or Tracy is leaving Weatherfield, a heartfelt reconnection could offer closure and catharsis. A poignant exploration of love's complexity. Reunions aren't always about happily ever after. Sometimes they explore whether people can change and whether love can survive the long haul. Even if the reunion doesn't become permanent, the attempt could be a powerful narrative arc. Final thoughts. Is Coronation Street setting up Steve and Tracy's reunion ahead of a dramatic exit? The signs are intriguing. Cassie's pending departure, Steve's moment of vulnerability, and Tracy's comforting gesture all point toward careful narrative positioning. But that's the brilliance of Corrie. It thrives in the spaces between what fans hope for and what the drama ultimately delivers. Whether Steve and Tracy circle back to one another, or the show plays their connection for emotional depth without a full-blown romance, their shared history ensures that whatever unfolds will be rich with resonance. After all, on the cobbles of Weatherfield, love doesn't just walk away quietly. It leaves footprints, and sometimes, just sometimes, it comes back to knock on the door once more. Coronation Street airs on weeknights at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX and YouTube. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Coronation Street Update 24.